What is the average income, or what is the income potential for the rank and rent business model? And first and foremost, I'm going to cover that in this video, but first and foremost, it kills me when people ask this. I remember I was recruiting my current sales guy back when I was doing door to door, and he'll remember this. I hope you're watching this, Cowboy Kyle. I remember he asked the same exact question. He was doing a painting job, and he was going to make like $6,000 for the whole summer. We were young, early 20s, and he kept asking me the same question. He kept saying, Nick, what does the average person make in a summer selling door to door? And we were selling alarm systems at the time. And I remember I finally looked at him, and he's like 6'9", by the way. He's a huge guy. This is Kyle, if you guys know Cowboy Kyle. If you don't, get in the free Facebook group, get inside of Digital Landlords. You guys will see a lot of Kyle. And I remember I asked him, I said, well, like, are you average? Or do you consider yourself average? And so I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to talk about this exact question because everyone asks it, but I want you to ask yourself first as I get into this, like, do you consider yourself average? And I would say if you are watching this video, instead of watching some schmutt on TV, instead of binging Yellowstone for the 5th time, it's probably a decent indicator that you are not average, or you are at least above average, okay? But for some reason, everybody wants to know what is the average, because in their minds, it's some kind of safety blanket, some kind of like bottom floor where you're not going to fall below it, okay? But the reality is, I could give you the averages all day. There's going to be people that make way less because they're never going to make it work because they're going to quit, okay? So whatever numbers I give you, and I'm going to be very, very vague because like it really depends on so many different factors. How much work are you going to put into it? What niches are you going to target? Are you going to actually do things that move the needle every single day? Or are you going to sit and shuffle papers or mess with a website for the 20th time that week and check the rankings once again and consider it work and not and go, why am I not making money, right? And other people are going to go, hey, all that stuff's important, but I need to get deals. I need to make money. I need to start asking people for money. I need to focus on making offers. And those are the people that are going to crush it. So I'm going to just say this. I've had deals, personal deals. I'm going to talk about top line gross numbers on these deals because as we know, and for those that are brand new, guys, okay, we're talking about the simple business model of ranking websites that we own, taking the phone calls or the leads and selling them or renting them to business owners. Okay, that is the business model, rank and rent. And as many of you know, I actually rent first, rank later, but we're not going to get into that in this video. I have had websites, okay, that have made me multiple thousands of dollars top line. And what that means is when I start, if I'm running ads, it's not all profit, right? It's probably going to be closer to like 50% profit, maybe 40% profit, maybe 60% profit. But as my organic rankings pick up, as my Google My Business kicks in, all of a sudden I can turn down my ads. And if I have let's say a $2,000 deal, what I used to only put $1,000 in my pocket, if I can now turn the ads down to $500 instead of $1,000 per month, I'm making that other, $500. So I'm having an incredible profit margin. So I've had deals that have been multiple thousands of dollars per month. And of course, the profit on that varies depending on how well the website's ranking, what time of year it is, how much ads I'm running, what my team looks like, do I have an office? Depends on what you count inside of the overhead, right? I've also had deals where I've had the site, I can't find somebody. I'm like, dude, some money's better than no money. Let me just freaking scoop up a deal. And I've done $300, $400, $500 a month deals, okay? Now, most of the time when I get those lower deals, those $300, $400, $500 deals, I'm ranking, those are all organic leads, and that's why I'm willing to get those. So even though it's only $300, $400, $500, it's pretty much all profit other than my hosting, my tracking number, and a few things like that. So those deals are actually probably similar to some of these $750 or $1,000 deals where I have the ads and everything else. But I have done deals for as low as a couple $100s. Now, what I do not do is I do not do pay per lead deals. I do not do commission deals, okay? It's just not what I do. I've tried them. They don't work. There are ways I believe you can do those deals, but they have to be done properly. And it's as far as scale, it's very difficult. It can be done, but for the average everyday person, stick to the flat fee deals, okay? So considering that you could make anywhere from $300 to $400 per deal, per website, up to multiple thousands of dollars, then really the answer to your question, or the answer to what is the average income, it depends on what's average to you. It depends on what your appetite is. It depends on what is your standard, right? Because there's people right now, this is what I was talking about when I was living in Africa, is I remember looking around at people that didn't have cars, people that had to walk miles to get to their job where they made a couple dollars a day. And I remember thinking, I wonder what they think about us. Like, I wonder what they think about us. And I was talking to my wife at the time. I'm like, what do you think they think? Like, we're just some spoiled people or whatever. And like, to me, I would never do that because I'm used to, and I have this standard, like, I'm not going to make $2 an hour because I know I can make way more, right? And yeah, maybe they do look at us like this. I'm talking about the not every person, but some of these people that I would see that would be walking to work. And this is no different than the people that you see in the US that do not have vehicles or whatever. And we look and go, how can you live in that house? How many times are you going to eat syrup sandwiches, man? Right? It's like some common joke in the hood is the syrup sandwiches. Why I'm throwing it out there. But then I was like, you know what? I guarantee that the billionaires, the mega billionaires, they look at us and they go, dude, can you imagine having to fly commercial? Even if it's first class, can you imagine having to go into the airport and like going through security and having some ornery lady tell you to take out your computer and take off your shoes and get patted down and go through this and sit there can you imagine that these people, can you imagine not having a private chef and having to like go out and eat? Oh my gosh, what peasants, right? And so there's levels to this, guys. And what I'm saying is like, you know, there's really no way for me to say, oh, this is the average income, because what do you consider the average? Do I take the highest people? There's people in my program inside Digital Landlords in the $40,000 to $50,000 per month. Okay. I was able to scale up to $100,000 per month. I hit 125 back in, I think it was August of 2021. Okay. We hit 125. We didn't maintain it. Our systems were broken and we kind of came back down, but that we've maintained that 100K mark. And so like, do I include that? Do we include all the people that started and built one website, never bought the training, never would spend any money to get into Digital Landlords, watched one YouTube video and said, hey, this doesn't work? Do we count them? There's no way to give an average, okay? Because we'd have to have certain metrics. We'd have to say, who do we include in that group? But what I will say is this, is like knowing what you can get a deal for, okay? Anywhere from $300 to $400 up to a couple thousand. The question is like, what is your appetite? What is your standard? How much do you need to make? Because we all make exactly what we need to make right now. How much you're making is exactly where your standard is. Because if you weren't making what you needed to pay the bills and live the lifestyle that you're used to living, you would be not watching this video right now. Or maybe you would be watching this video, but you wouldn't be doing what you did this morning, waking up late. You wouldn't be watching Netflix. You wouldn't be wasting time. You wouldn't be calling your buddy. You wouldn't be golfing. You wouldn't be doing all the things that you're doing, wasting time. You would be making freaking money. So what I will say, maybe spin it a little bit, is whatever amount of money is your standard, whatever amount of money you need to make to escape the rat race, to get to the position you need to get to go and do things that matter. And this matters. Don't get me wrong. But like, guys, I can't help but believe we're put on this earth to do something a little bit bigger than build Weebly sites, right? We do this to escape the rat race and go and do things that matter, things that like we're called to do, right? That we feel that we should spend our time doing, that give us just that purpose, right? At least that's my opinion. And so whatever your amount is, you can make it in this business, okay? Whatever your amount is, and I can't sit here and say this is the average, is what you're gonna make, because if you don't think you can make 20,000 or you don't deserve 20,000 or you're not a $20,000 a month guy or gal, you're never gonna make it, okay? On this flip side, if you can never even imagine making less than $100,000 per month, you can make $100,000 per month. The business model works. It's scalable. It's low barrier to entry. You could do it from anywhere. It's asset-based. It's recurring. It checks all the boxes, guys. Quit asking what the averages are and like think about it to yourself. Do you actually consider yourself average? And if you do, then that's okay. There's got to be average people too. But I would guess most people that are choosing to watch this video instead of some other cat video on YouTube are not average, okay? So ask yourself that question. Instead, guys, get in, get started. Let's go.